Studies out of Johns Hopkins University suggest that when adults mentor young people, there is an effect on the ability to prevent and delay declining brain function. What is more interesting is that 90% of people who are mentored when they're young grow to become mentors themselves. Hello and welcome to SMA Talks the Podcast. My name is Ayodeji Saraki, and today I answer the question, why young Africans need mentors. On the show today, I have my friend and someone I consider a brother to me. Is none other than Edwin Titus. Now, Edwin is a creative expert and a visual designer, and is someone who has benefited from the experience of a mentor. Hello, Edwin. How are you doing?
I'm good.
And these are, is it yogurts? Yogurt drink.
Habib yogurt.
Habib yogurt. Oh God,
Yeah.
it's lovely. Very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. So, Edwin, tell us, have you had any mentor in your life, maybe while growing up, and has the mentor really helped you?
Okay, that's quite an interesting question. So let me start by quotes which I saw relating to this topic. It's by Isaac Newton.
Oh, nice.
And he said, if I have seen further than others, it's by standing upon the shoulders of
Giants. Absolutely.
Yeah, not just think about this quote, like how deep it is. He said, if he has seen further than others, it's because he stood upon the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
That's quite deep.
Yeah,
Look
it
at
is.
It's quite deep. Just take some seconds and imagine it.
Yeah.
So definitely.
And funny enough, I came across that quote sometimes this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So personally, I know you are a creative designer and creative expert rather, and a visual designer. And I know that the kind of job you do and how you run your business, as an entrepreneur yourself,
Have to learn from
yes, you need some sort of guidance, you need some sort of mentorship. So, and as a young African yourself, so was it that, who was that mentor to you? Was it maybe a teacher in your primary school? Is it someone who has been consistent in your life that has mentored you? Or have you at every stage of your life had different mentors?
Well, I have learned a lot from people, and I wouldn't say I learned from one person in particular, because the fact is, knowledge is everywhere, and there are a lot of people who have succeeded in your field.
Yeah.
So you might not have them directly with you to learn from them, but in one way or the other, I've learned from a lot of people. Some directly, some indirectly. Some I've met, some I've not met.
Yeah.
So it's quite broad. And I've learned a lot from people. We'll go deeper into it later.
Okay. Yeah, and I'd like to quickly say that because a lot of people have this, they get the line blurred when they're talking about role models and mentors, and they're absolutely different. So I'd like to just recite a quote by Diane Di Napoli. She's into wildlife and love that. She's one of the few people who rescued some penguins in South Africa, some years ago. And she says, and I quote, "Our heroes show us the path to our heart's desires. Our role models inspire us to be more like them. But our mentors help us to uncover and unleash our true potential." Yeah, so there's a difference which many people don't understand between role models and mentors. So role models, you can see them online, offline, maybe someone that you don't necessarily have a relationship with. You have never spoken to before, but you just see them from a distance and you want to model your life to be like them. So, for example, you can see an artist on social media and like, oh, this guy is my role model because I like the way he does his stuff. you hear young Africans say that, oh, he has the swag and he has the vibe, or she has the vibe, I just like something about her. So that could be a role model. Yeah. But a mentor, you need to have some form of relationship with the mentor, and the person, trains you, or you get to ask 1 or 2 questions every now and then with this person that's going to guide you to achieve, and attain and unleash, your true potential.
Yeah.
So to bring it back home, because SMA Talks, we like to look at it from the gaze, the African eye, you know that. So how do you think young Africans, for example, Nigeria as a case study, do you think they need mentors, or do you think they have mentors, or they have more than enough mentors? What do you think?
I think they need mentors.
Okay. And
they
why is
definitely need mentors, because having someone in your goal achieving process, having someone who has done it before you, having someone who has achieved what you are trying to achieve, it helps a lot.
True.
It takes off the guesswork. It takes off the what ifs. It takes off a lot of trial and error. So that's the advantage of having someone like that in your path as you progress.
True.
So that person puts you in check. You learn from that person. In fact, it saves you years and years and years of trial and error. It's a tried and true method if you have someone in your life who has succeeded before. So you have to just model after him. So it's very important.
Yeah. But the thing is, so for example, in Nigeria, we have like over 60% of our population are young people and their youth. And majority of them, like Nigeria is one of the countries in the world that has one of the highest number of users on social media. And the problem with social media, I think, is that social media is curated. We tend to add some filters to our pictures that we post online. We tend to select the best videos. We take like 100 pictures, they will not select the best 2 pictures, and we post on Instagram, Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have fake accounts, people, troll people, other people, innocent people, and all of that. And the fact that a lot of young people are on social media, and we also know that what you see all the time, what you perfect all the time becomes part of you. So if you're always on social media looking at some other people supposedly living this sort of fake lives, so we have many young Africans looking up to these people that have curated their social media, account, and you're not looking up to them. Oh, I think this person is a good role model, or I like this so person to mentor me. And in my little capacity, I've been able to talk to 1 or 2 people that, hey, you need someone that believes in you. You need someone that can put you on check. You need someone. And the beautiful thing is, mentorship, a lot of people are mentors and they don't even know it, that they are mentors. So we have, parents as mentors. They give you the best advice. You have your elder sister, your elder brother. In fact, the person might even be younger than you, but that person gives you the best advice, and that person, he or she doesn't even know that he's a mentor.
And remember, those people are like your first point of contact.
True, they are.
Like you grew up with them, so a lot you learn, and things you learn when you're growing up with someone, it affects you a lot when you grow. So those were like our first form of
mentorship.
Mentoring. You just mentioned parents, that's why I celebrate. That.
So was your own parents, were they sort of like mentors to you?
Definitely.
Which one of them?
Definitely. my dad.
Okay. So how did you?
My dad is a mentor to me, and he's still a mentor to me. In fact, sometimes I just want to go home. Like, after staying away, because I don't stay with my dad, as you know, I stay alone.
Okay.
So sometimes
in different states.
Yeah, in different states.
Okay, so you stay in Abuja, right?
Yeah, I stay in Abuja. My parents are in Jos.
Jos, okay.
Yeah, but then my dad is such a mentor to me that sometimes when I've stayed away from home for a very long time, sometimes I just want to go home, because anytime I go home, there's some key 30 minutes, 1 hour that I share with him. And he just puts me back in check. When you need that guidance of a parent, no matter how old you are, because there are certain things that they see that you don't see. So when I manage to go home for a few days, I make sure I spend quality time just receiving advice, guidance, counseling from my dad, and it has helped. I've had friends who were, who are orphans, and then when I tell them some of the advices that my dad gave me, I had a friend who said his dad is late, but what my dad tells me, he's using it to apply in his own life. Wow,
beautiful.
So one of the advice that my dad gave me as a designer, as a creative person, I think there was a time I was at home. I finished doing my IT in a TV station.
Okay.
So I was waiting for resumption to resume to go back to school. So I was sitting at home. I think 2 weeks to resumption, and my dad was like, "Hey, what are you doing at home?" He saw me being on the couch from morning till night, just doing nothing. And I think I asked him for money. I think for a recharge card or something. And he was like, he didn't say anything. Okay. So when he now came back the next day, he still saw me in that same position, not doing anything, not going out. Though he was used to,
father.
He's used to seeing me dress up, go to my IT place and come back. At least he knows that I'm engaged in one way, form or the other. So he was like, "What are you doing?" When I'm done with my IT, I'm just waiting for
school to resume.
In my mind, I was thinking, okay, I don't have a certificate yet, so this man should not even bother me to go and look for a job.
Sure.
In fact, I'm in 300 level, so if I'm sitting at home, you should just allow me, because I don't have a certificate. How can I go and look for a job? So when he started the talk, I saw it going to that direction. So my defense was like, "Hey, hello, I'm still in 300 level. I can't." That was my understanding at that point. But then he was like, "You have a skill, right? Go and walk into any organization and tell them you want to work for them for free. It's better than sitting at home."
Sure.
At that moment, I realized you cannot be idle.
Sure. I mean, it's a crime. In some African homes, it's almost a crime to be idle. And I think it is, I absolutely buy into that ideology.
Yes.
I think laziness is a disease. Just being idle, not doing anything. And it also reminded me of, some time ago, I remember when I finished university, I came back to Abuja, and I remember going around, I wanted to do some form of maybe internship or even volunteer with an organization, because I was really interested in media, even if that was not what I studied in university. So I went around, I went to radio stations, I went to TV, I went to the BBC, I just went around. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a slot, even just to volunteer. Do you understand? Yeah. And because I made a case of, I'm going to come for free, it's going to be me paying my transport fare, you don't need to give me anything. And they told me, hey, we have more than enough people. All the places I went. I remember I went to my brother, and that was just me because I wanted to do. So it just reminded me, your father's advice to you, just reminded me of that. So it's something a lot of young people need to do. And in my own case, there was nobody told me, to do that. But I just felt that it was the right thing to do. I don't like, that laziness, just sitting, not doing anything. You should always find something to do. You should always do something with your time.
And I believe at some point you volunteered at some place.
Oh yes, I volunteered. When I was in university, for example, I volunteered in a radio station.
So that's basically
yes, I volunteered.
I wasn't seeing it in that direction until he pointed me to that direction.
Okay.
And that was when I realized, I can never sit down being idle. At least when you're volunteering, you could learn a thing or two. You could have something to put on your CV.
Yeah.
It's just not a waste.
True.
That's just the point.
True. And also, a lot of people have so much talent. They have so much within them that they don't know how to channel the energy.
Yeah.
So in your case, you're talented, you're a designer. You're one of those people I know that you can just look at an empty space and just figure out what would fit in there perfectly.
Yeah.
But you didn't know what to do with that talent. And you see, but a resource not used is a lost resource, it's waste.
It's a waste.
So your father had to remind you that, guy, you need to do something. Go out and do something. Volunteer. You don't need a certificate to do that. And that's why I think we're doing this show today.
Yeah.
Talking to young Africans, why you need mentorship. A lot of people need mentorship, mentorship. They need great mentors. And the beautiful thing is, great leaders inspire us.
Definitely.
So I realized that we have to see people that have done great things in their field, that look like you, that speak like you. So I'm not saying that it's not bad for you to have one or two people you admire, or you want someone to be your mentor, for example, and the person is in maybe the US and is white, maybe a white old man in the United States. Yes, that's fine. You can have him as your mentor. But it's always beautiful to me as a young African to have an African that can mentor you, that has done successfully well. And it is impossible for you to tell me that you won't find, in your surrounding or in your village.
And you would be more confident, if you see someone from home.
From home. That's what I'm saying.
Someone from your own atmosphere.
Exactly, because the person has gone through the struggles, you want to go through, and the person has conquered and come out on the other side. So I believe that person is in a better position to give you advice, to help you. I was advising a friend of mine recently who he wants to be a great speaker. He wants to speak around the world, around the globe. He was telling me about this incredible dream he has and how he wants to publish a book and all of that. And I was really fascinated because I like young people who dream, because I'm young myself and I have great dreams. I intend to achieve in future. And I told him, I said, do you have any mentor? He said, no. I said, why? He said, that he doesn't have. Then I pressed him, dig further. Then he told me, there's an uncle of his. Anytime he makes any work or something, he sends it to this man, and the man criticizes him very well. He challenges him, asks him questions. Okay, why did you do this? Okay, how can you do? And I was like, no, the uncle has so much drama around him. He's, in his words, his wala is too much. And I was like, no. You can really benefit from that criticism that your uncle is giving you. Because if your uncle can drill you properly, the best way to make mistake is to make it at home, right? While they correct you properly. Yeah. Like our people say, charity begins at home. Get the correction at home before you chop the slap for outside.
Like you just mentioned something very interesting: criticism.
Yeah.
That should never be underestimated, because as a designer, now I'm talking from my field right now.
Yes.
As a designer, I've been criticized a lot, and it's the way I took the criticism. It has built me so well. I've benefited from it immensely. The person I've worked with in Abuja for the longest, almost 2 years, I've learned a lot, because that person criticizes my work on a daily basis and appreciates my work when it's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Tells me points. I like that person because that person doesn't use emotions in looking at my works. When I do the work, it's okay. Praises, sing my praises. But then when it's not good, I get criticized and I learn from it. I learned a lot.
Constructive criticism.
Oh my God. You just have to learn to accept it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that is something that is very important. I wish a lot of young Africans, I like to emphasize on Africans, because I know that we have so much to do. I know it's not easy to be an African.
It's not easy.
In the world we are today, in the world that is so whitewashed, in the world that imperialists have tried to erase our history and our heritage, and they would not succeed. Obviously, but we have a lot of work to do to remind ourselves, and that's why I'm always speaking to young Africans. young Africans why you need mentorship. And let's look at it from a larger scale. So we have a lot of role models. I mean, it's difficult to talk about mentorship without talking about role models anyway. So we have a lot of role models in our society that aren't the perfect role models to have. So Nigeria, for example, is one of the growing countries growing in a number of hard drugs that people use. Recently, a statistics came out that many young Nigerians are on hard drugs. And if you look at the lifestyle of many celebrities, making drugs look like it's cool. The thing, cool. Making it look cool. Yeah. There's this woke culture, this woke mentality that is eating up the way we do things, and I don't think personally that we can afford to continue in that light. Yeah. And if you also look at it, that's for that's on one side. On the other hand, if you look at a country again like Nigeria, funny enough, is one of the great places to use an example, because we have the largest black population in the world. Number of black people living in Nigeria, in this country, is more than any other country you can find in the world. And if you look at our political climate, you see a lot of politicians from the lowest level of politics, the councillors and the local government chairman, to the highest level, presidents, senators, etc. You see corruption. You see no one has been successfully convicted. Even the River State governor the other time that was convicted in the United Kingdom and he came back to Nigeria, it was celebrated, in a state. So what are we projecting into the society? What are young Africans seeing? Because I'm tired of hearing the phrase which goes, young people are the problem of Africa. Young people are the problem of Nigeria. And I'm like, the young people didn't see good example to follow.
That's true.
Because as parents, it's your responsibility to raise intelligent, young, good, hardworking, dedicated kids. Yoruba will say, "Ati kekere latin peko iroko." Meaning, now from small with the train picking, loosely translate to is from childhood. You shape and mold a child into the better man or the better woman you want he or she to be into the society.
Yeah.
So how do we, in your view or in your perspective, how do we get good mentors for young Africans? I want young Africans to see some selective or some certain individual that they can look up to as role model, and this you can actually mentor them. How do they, like people that are orphans, for example, that don't have the luxury you had, that your father, mentors you. How would they navigate their own world?
Okay, let me remember the quote I started with about the giants. When you climb the shoulder of the giants, you see
yes, father. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when Isaac Newton said that thing, when you climb the shoulder of a giant, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is for you tomorrow to be also a giant for somebody to climb on.
True.
To see what you saw when you climbed the shoulder of it, So it's supposed to be, when you get mentored, you grow up, you become a mentor to somebody else, because that's how the circle goes.
Yeah, and I said that in my introduction. I said 90% of people who get mentored as children or when they were young grew up to become mentors themselves.
Yes. And then you also mentioned, Nigerian leaders, typically what's going on. Yes, we consider our leaders corrupt, and that's just the sad truth. So oftentimes I hear phrases like, let me just get the opportunity to go in there too and steal my, national cake. So those are some of the things we emulate and we try to copy. We try to, let's just have... So unfortunately, we will keep on... It will just be like a dog chasing its tail. If our leaders would not change, because we will follow them. Sure. Definitely, when we are there too, they're saying we're the leaders of tomorrow. But then, if we learn these things from them, when we go there too, we're going to do the same thing.
Do the same,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you mentioned something about the thing is, their knowledge everywhere. Knowledge is everywhere, right? Speaking about role models, now, for instance, they are everywhere. You just have to sieve it and pick the positive one that will impact you. You know, if you have a clear goal,
yeah.
If you have a clear goal, let's say me, for instance.
Okay.
I keep making up. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
good.
My clear goal. My clear goal is
Yeah.
to be. I want to dominate the advertising industry.
Beautiful.
As a designer.
You guys heard it first from SMA Talks. Edwin wants to dominate the advertising
I want to have
industry.
my advertising industry. My advertising company.
Yeah.
So when the end goal is to make money. Even though the end goal is to make money, every day in social media I keep seeing people like Hush Puppy, people like the other musicians that tend to
and they
impact negatively. Even though the
that's
end
not
goal
encouraging.
Yes, it's not encouraging. Okay,
Yes.
sometimes you'll be like, okay, even though you just have to be focused.
Yeah.
Because yes, you want to make the money while doing what you love.
No.
But then there are people that have the money because they did other things. So even though they did it to make money too. At the end of the day, you also want to make money and then impact the society and do what you love. I would follow their path.
Sure.
Because clearly my goal and theirs doesn't align.
Yeah, doesn't align.
It doesn't align.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. For you to look for mentorship again, you have to be clear on your goal. What is it I want to achieve? And then trust me, when you are clear, all these other things they will not affect you. You will not be bothered just because you have a clear goal in mind. And then that goal will make you to follow someone who is in your path, who has succeeded in that path.
Yeah.
So it's saturated. The society is saturated with a lot of
distractions,
a lot of temptations, tempting distractions, right?
Yeah.
But you just have to be focused. It's not going to be. Nobody says it will be easy.
And I always say nobody says it's going to be hard too. But so life is what it is.
Yes.
And like you said, we have to model positive behavior. And the only way we can model positive behavior is to have good role models. But also, if you don't have good role models or you don't see any good role model around you, you try to be that for yourself. Only by being that for yourself is how you can be that for other people coming after you, right?
Yes. And I think you would definitely see because what you are doing, it's in line with what someone has done before. Yeah. And I think that's the person that you should emulate.
True. Yeah. You're speaking maybe from a role model perspective, or even a mentorship, for example, because you hear phrases like, "There's nobody. What I want to do. There's nobody that is doing what I want to do." And I tell people, there's nothing that you want to do that is unique. Nothing is unique. Someone has done it before, or someone has done something similar to that before. So you have to find people that have done something similar, even if what you want to bring to the table now is completely new. So, for example, like a Tesla, Elon Musk that invented Tesla electric cars. I mean, they're not electric cars until someone came and thought about it. Okay, I want to make electric cars. But someone has been doing cars, right? Even if it wasn't electric. So he won't go to the bakery and say he wants to learn how to make electric cars, right? So he learns in the automobile industry to say that, okay, this is how they're making cars, then how can I make the car improve on the car? Then Tesla was born, electric cars were born. I also like to chip in a story. It gets to my mind all the time about Maya Angelou. I don't know if you know her. She's one of the most celebrated black writers. And she told the story of, she was directing, or was it producing a movie, and she was there with Janet Jackson and all of that. So all of a sudden they were hearing noise from outside the hall. She said, I think young black guys they were fighting, they were shouting, yelling, cursing, and all of that. Then she went outside, and she met this guy, this young black guy was cursing, he was doing all sorts of things. And she told this guy, "Hey, calm down. That's why you behaving like that." Then she now called him to, the side of the block, and she was talking to him that, do you know how many people stood did the march. She was referring to the Martin Luther King. The march just for you to be where you are today. Do you know how many young black men and women have sacrificed their life for you to have this opportunity you have? That don't allow anybody to be the cause of why you'll be in jail, or she was talking to this guy, and this guy becomes so emotional, and he started crying. He was crying. And she went back inside. She was fine and all of that. Continued directing the program. Only for Janet Jackson, Janet Jackson, right? Yeah. She ran. I came to meet her. Maya, wait, were you the one that made Tupac cry? And she was like, who is Tupac? Wow. She was like, Tupac, you don't know Tupac? I said, oh, I know no 6 Packs. Meaning that, she didn't know who it was. And to Janet Jackson, that's a big deal. So why I narrated that story is that sometimes we have to remind our young people, we have to remind young Africans that there are people that are doing legitimate work. There are people that are actually working hard. There are people that pave the way for success for you coming. So you need those individuals that were good role model. Look at those ones. I know there are several distractions. I know that there are several people that are doing what is wrong. But why not focus on those ones that are doing what is right? Emulate them, copy their style, learn from them. Be a mentee under them, learn from their tutelage. Why not that? And you too, when you now become your own man enough or woman enough, then you can now teach others coming after you. I think that's the only way we can actually get this Pan-African desire we really want. We have to train our young people. I mean, there are a couple of Nigerians or Africans that are doing quite well in terms of mentoring young people. I know of this pastor, Tony Rapo. Tony Rapo is doing quite a bit. I know he goes around the streets of Lagos, and people that are into drugs, people that are orphans. I mean, I've watched videos of young people that didn't even have any desire, like what the typical no future ambition, NFF, those kind of people. And he brought them under his tutelage, he mentored them, and they're successful today. So I know that young people can, if you really want to be successful at what you're doing, whatever field, maybe medicine or whatever, art, you need someone. You need someone. So is there any mentor currently apart from your dad, that is helping you navigate this field of creative art you're doing, design?
Okay, so my dad is more of just personal, let me say life coach for me.
Okay.
But then professionally, I can't classify him as my mentor.
Yes.
I have mentors that I have role models.
Yes.
The ones, let me just call the ones I've not met role models, but the ones I've met one-on-one. Because that's just the difference. At the end of the day, the end goal is to learn from someone.
Sure.
Yeah. The end goal is to learn from someone.
And be better.
So I've learned a lot from different people. Different designers. Some of them in Nigeria, most of them not in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. If they've not done it before me, I don't know how I'd have done it. So it's very important to have someone who you can model after and just learn.
And should in case you're just joining us on SMA Talks the podcast, we're talking about mentorship. Why young Africans need mentorship, why they need mentors. And I like this definition by Sean Blanchard. I really love the definition. He defined mentorship. He says mentorship is to be influenced by individuals. Mentorship is to be influenced by individuals, ideals, and society. He goes further. He said it starts from the day you open your eyes into this world till the day you close your eyes to this world. That's so. And you see, this Sean Blanchard is one person I admire so much. He had a rough beginning in his life. I mean, he had a father growing up. He had a father that practically he never knew this man. His mom was a shoplifter. She was a professional shoplifter, you know. His brother died at a young age as his elder brother. He lived with his grandmother. His grandmother later died. You know, this typical black American, yes, like difficult story that you don't even know how this kind of, like, if you hear a story, these are people that you can even write off that these ones cannot be successful, you know. And someone that helped him was, I think, his teacher, his counselor in high school. She just believed in him. She just literally believed in this young, poor black boy. And she trained him, put him through. He went to University of Michigan. You know, he became successful. He too started that process. Brought someone under. You know, it sounds like the way they do MMM. Yeah. You know, bring one person, bring two people. Yeah, so you could this Ponzi scheme. So for those that don't know, yeah. So what exactly? Young Africans, why not see mentorship as all this Ponzi scheme, but a positive Ponzi scheme? You know, when you get out of the slums and you become successful, you can go back to that slum and mentor, pick people. Yeah. So bring one person, bring two people, bring three people. Why not do that in terms of mentoring? Why not do that for good? Yeah. You know, rather than
very important.
Yeah, rather than scamming people with their funds, hard-earned money. So, you know, he went back. He brought one person. The person he brought, that one too, wrote scholarship successfully, got into University of Michigan. The guy went back to New York, took his friend too, and the story goes on. So, I mean, it's just so amazing the capacity we have as individuals to make better choices for our lives. I know there's someone listening to me right now and you are confused. You literally don't know how to go about it. You don't know how to even figure out what you even want to do in life. First of all, not talk of even picking a mentor. But I can tell you, your first step is try to know yourself, try to know what you like, try to know what's important to you. Try to know those things and look within you, look in your surrounding. It could be your parents, it could be your elder brother, it could be your colleague at work, it could be your neighbors, it could be your pastor, it could be your imam, you know, in the mosque. But just try and identify that one person. It might not be just one person, it could be more than one, you know, that, you know, can just put you in the right direction. You know, that can just put you in the right direction, that can give you the right advice you need to push and be better for yourself. Now, also make sure that don't always take, I mean, you know, when you say this, you have to also say the flip side.
Yeah.
Some people take other people's advice like a Bible, you know, that, oh, Edwin said I should go and study chemical engineering, and that's all.
No.
You don't want to do anything else that you must study because Edwin has said go and study chemical engineering. That's not what we're talking about here, I believe.
Yes, of course.
We're saying that you should, first of all, identify who you are. You have to know yourself. If you know who you are, then you know who you are not. That's the beginning. So you know the things you value. You know your vices. Recognize your vices and recognize your virtues. Recognize your value.
Because they are there to just guide you.
Exactly. So your mentors are there to guide you. Right, Edwin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make you conform to, you know, whatever they want you to conform to.
Yeah. I mean, like I recited earlier that the lady, Diane De Napoli said, she said, mentors help you to uncover and unleash our true potential. So it's not another person's true potential. It is your true potential. Your true potential. So that's what mentors do. So you have to get, and if you didn't have any mentors growing up, and you don't still have, but you're successful and you have achieved, I mean, a remarkable success for yourself, you can also be a mentor to someone else. You know, there are lots of, I mean, Nigeria, as it is the country with the highest out of school children in the world. Nigeria has the highest number of out of school kids. So
I'm not surprised.
Many students are out of school, and with the recent happenings, the kidnapping here and there, and all of those things, it's not even encouraging. It's not even easy to go to school. Yeah. So you can imagine how many children, young people are roaming the street that can benefit from your expertise if you were to be their mentor. So young Africans need mentors, and you can be that person. So we are enjoying your Habib yogurt. We are not advertising Habib yogurt here, but hey guys, it's beautiful. It's incredible. Yeah, with some sprinkle of chia seeds. Cheers. So good mentors. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Eddie, you have any last words? Because I think we're completely out of time.
Yes. Let me just conclude by saying, maybe someone listening to this might, easily go to Google and type how to get a mentor or something like that. You might move. But then you could be surprised when you go out to, let's say, type how to get a mentor or something.
Yeah.
You discover that you have to even pay money in some situations.
Sure.
And I recently discovered that you have to pay certain mentors money to mentor, and it was quite expensive.
Yeah.
So if I'm just giving someone out there that advice, you shouldn't be discouraged. Yeah. You might see someone in your field charging a huge amount of money just for him to mentor you. I don't think it should be discouraging to you.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, just look for that someone. Look for that someone who has done it in your field, and just follow his footsteps. What he did, what he does. Try to follow. It could be, just try to. You could create relationship with. If you have the opportunity to create relationship with them, you could do that. You could reach out to them. The LinkedIn. Whatever, if you have the opportunity, do it, because mentorship is about creating relationship with someone, and then when that someone, luckily for you, sees your potential, your passion, you guys might be connected, and he will guide you through. But then if you don't have the opportunity, it doesn't mean you can't still learn from somebody. There's someone you can always learn from. You just have to look around.
Absolutely.
It saves you the guesswork. It saves you the uncertainties. It saves you a lot. So try to learn from someone. Try.
Absolutely. You heard it first. You heard it from Edwin Titus. So I'd like to end by saying that I saw this on one blog called socialworklicensmap.com. You guys can check it out. And it goes, by introducing youth to new experiences and sharing positive values, mentors can help young people avoid negative behaviors and achieve success. Youth with mentors have increased likelihood of going to college, better attitude towards school, increased social and emotional development, and improved self-esteem. Ladies and gentlemen, what else is there? This, I think, actually would prove a point to everyone that you need mentors. You need a mentor, and you can be one. If you think you are good enough to be someone's mentor, look at that guy in your street. Look at that guy in your surrounding. Mentor him, mentor her. Be there for that person.
Yes. Okay, sorry, let me just add one more thing.
Yeah.
We've been talking about mentor, being a mentee. So now let's just look at it from the flip side.
Okay.
For you, there's also advantage, not just for the mentee, but for the mentor as well.
Yeah.
Because as a mentor, you have people under you. It could improve your leadership skills.
Sure.
It could improve your own management skills, because as a mentor, automatically you're a leader.
You're a leader, true.
So that has it's advantageous not just to the mentee, but also to the mentor himself, because the mentor also grows himself in certain capacity.
Absolutely.
I hope you understand.
I understand.
For example, that leadership, it helps you become a better leader. A better,
even a better parent.
A better parent, a better leader. Just because you have someone under you and you want to see that
you're responsible. You have some certain sort of responsibility to those people under you.
And apart from that, it also gives you a sense of fulfillment.
Yes.
Like, okay, I molded this person to become this.
This.
Tomorrow you beat
I mean,
your
your
chest.
pride.
You'll be proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be proud. So
It basically shows that, what do I see it? There's no disadvantage to being a mentor and a mentee. Yeah. So it's win-win.
It's a win-win.
You know, all you folks that you're solely interested in money, that, don't talk to me if it's not about money, don't invite me, don't message me if you're not speaking money, because all you want to do is to win. Yeah, this is a good way of winning, because it's win-win. You know, being a mentor, you're winning because you're learning, right, from the
Learning
people you're mentoring to manage
Yeah.
people. And being a mentee, you're also learning, gaining experiences, avoiding some certain mistakes, you know, that your mentor has already passed through and he or she is advising you. I mean, someone put it well when the person said, learn from other people's mistake, for you won't live long enough to make all the mistakes yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that was beautifully said.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You know, you won't live long enough to make all the mistakes yourself. And that's why we need mentors, you know, to guide us through. And this continent we so love, Africa, I believe a lot of young people need mentors. When I was starting the program, I said we're going to answer the question why young Africans need mentors. With this few points of ours, we believe we've been able to convince you. It reminds me of debate in secondary school, you know, and not to confuse you that
you need a mentor.
we need mentors.
We need and role
Thank
models.
you, and God bless you. Bye for now.